We're going to do a visualization exercise that will help Ralph to figure out what this depressed feeling is about. So I know you've been waking up to 2 a.m. every morning, barely getting enough sleep, and feeling down. Is that pretty accurate? Just like there's a dark cloud over you.
Yeah, it's been pretty daily. I can when I don't get to sleep too, it's even worse, and it lasts throughout the day.
Okay, close your eyes. Good, I like that you took a deep cleansing breath. Allow an image to come up on your visual screen of someone or something, not yourself, other than yourself, that you could be mad at. A person you could be mad at, a situation.
Well, based on what I've been doing lately, work-wise, I have to say my boss jumps right in there.
And as you see your boss, fill me in on the details of how he looks.
Well, I know he's not this big, but in this particular moment, especially with the way this week has gone, he seems like he's 7 feet tall. Because he hulks over me, but it's tough to do that. But like right now, it just seems like he's taking up almost my entire vision. It's actually kind of scaring me a little bit.
So you feel a little scared, and
I feel little right now.
Little,
yeah,
like
a kid. And
a kid about how old or what size?
Maybe 10, 11 years old.
Wow. And what do you see your boss doing?
It can go back and forth. Right now, just because we're talking about it, it seems like he's yelling, although he doesn't yell very much. It's almost like he's got that pose, but he's so, I think it's passive aggressive, where he is just saying things and making me feel bad, but without raising his voice. But it feels like he's raising his voice.
Great. Okay, so you can open your eyes for a minute. What we've done so far is step 1 in this visualization, which is to pinpoint the situation and the people involved that are triggering the depression. Okay, step 2 is going to be to pump you up. Close your eyes again. Good, I like that next cleansing breath. This time, picture yourself beginning to grow, kind of like Alice in Wonderland, just getting bigger and bigger and bigger.
Okay.
How much bigger are you than your boss right now?
Honestly, I'm not quite even the same size yet. It's a bit of a challenge
to pump up like that.
Yeah.
Okay, take a deep cleansing breath, and that breath is going to fill you with power.
Okay.
And using a next breath, let yourself grow substantially bigger.
Well, actually, when I breathe and I let my shoulders go back, it helps.
And at this point, who's bigger right now?
Well, right now I am.
By how much?
Actually, a pretty good amount. I'm looking down at him.
This is excellent.
But it's weird. I'm happy about it. Like I've got like a.
So
smile.
As you get big, I see your face is smiling, and there's more energy and happiness coming up.
A little bit. I'd say some of it's happiness. Some of it is, I'd say happiness.
It may be the happiness of retribution.
Yeah, maybe that's what I was thinking. It wasn't quite there.
Yeah, that's what I was sensing. So from that bigger position now, we can go to step 3 of the visualization, which is to make a plan for how you could handle this situation in a new way. To make that plan, notice what you see when you're big. Are you still looking down on him?
Yes.
Good. What can you see looking down on him that you didn't notice when you were small, like an 11-year-old or even smaller?
Well, I'd say just his size alone, in the facial expression seems to have changed.
In what way?
Well, before it was menacing in a sense, and the brows were furrowed, and
now how do you see him?
Well, it's almost like wide-eyed and looking up, and like peering, but not angrily, almost defensive.
He's almost defensive,
Mm-hmm.
huh? So when you feel your full strength, something changes in your boss. He almost becomes defensive.
It seems that way.
Interesting. Uh-huh. And how strong do you feel compared to him?
Well, right now that I've kind of put that look together, it feels almost like I could squash him at this moment if I wanted to.
And is that what you want to do, or is there something else that might be more constructive in terms of being able to handle your work situation?
Well, I actually would like to come back down, honestly, but not to where I was before, but to the same level, to see what that might look like.
How about if you still stay at least a little bigger than him?
Okay. Well, I think it gives me a little more confidence at this moment.
Okay, and with that confidence, allow yourself to begin to think of some ways that you could manage your work situation that would feel more comfortable for you.
Well, I think the number one thing, because I feel confident in what I do, is to be able to tell him with this size how I feel, of how he's been making me feel, I guess, or how I think of that.
So picture yourself having that conversation. I myself am not so optimistic about that strategy.
Okay.
And the nice thing about visualizations is you can think of ideas and we don't have to act on them. Your first idea was squash him.
Right.
So then we moved from that one to I could get to be his same size. And I kind of put the kibosh on that. I think it'll be better for you to stay feeling more confident, but just a little bit bigger, not hugely bigger. Now, your next thought was, oh, I could have a nice explain to him how you feel.
Well, I don't know if nice explain to him how I feel would have been. I was thinking more of assertive, some type of telling him I didn't appreciate. I guess that might be considered nice as well, but at least a different kind of expression than what I've been doing, which isn't saying anything.
And what do you not appreciate?
Well, first of all, I don't appreciate not being appreciated. That would probably be number one, and the fact that I do this work and he either takes credit for it or cuts me down to size, or cuts me down, I should say, and that makes me feel bad. Like I go home and then I can't sleep because I'm thinking about how I'm going to feel the next day.
So if you came up with a plan that would get rid of that feeling cut down without having to try to change your boss, because from what you've said to me before about the boss, the odds of his changing are pretty low. What, for instance, if you no longer expected appreciation from him and gave it to yourself, what would happen then?
Well, the words that he used wouldn't bother me nearly as much.
And is there anyone else at work whose appreciation would strengthen you?
I have a coworker that I respect, that I talk about, that gives me a little bit of that.
And what if you gave authority to your coworker to size up what you've done with you and give you that kind of appreciation? And just write off your boss as someone who's not capable of that.
Well, that would probably make things easier. And I wouldn't have to worry about it as much.
And what would be different then?
Could probably get some sleep.
That could make a big difference.
Probably.
What's bringing the smile now?
The thought of sleep. And maybe not putting so much pressure on myself to do something for somebody else.
And instead of putting pressure on yourself to do for him, how would you like to look at your work?
How would I like to look at my worth?
Work and your worth, yeah.
For myself, I guess I would look at it a lot differently, because now that you mention it, I've been looking at it not only, but mostly to
please him.
To get his appreciation.
Yeah.
And not doing it more from...
Right. And at this point, who looks bigger, you or him?
The same. I still feel bigger.
And how are you feeling?
right now I feel good, and it's almost he's there, but he's not really in my sight right now.
Wow, big change.
Mm-hmm.
Congratulations. You can open your eyes.
All right.
Bravo.
Thank you.
Yeah. That's the depression visualization. Now, continuing on in the session, we might talk more about techniques for maintaining confidence and good feelings about yourself and blocking out the negativity and the lack of appreciation from the boss. Basically, though, once you've popped out of that depressive state, A, you'll stay that way, or B, anytime you begin to slip back, close your eyes, revisualize yourself getting big, and let yourself smile and think about what to do about the situation. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Good. Okay.